Camera remote over here. So. Well, that's where we have the drop cloth. So do you want to, we have risers for the table if you want them. Okay. All right, I'm going to put the remote here.
How's your show coming? It's a good creative.
I have 1 3/4 page and it's pencil. It's got the frame.
We can do that. That's doable. Nice. We'll find out anyway. I actually had to do it so, but they're little, you know, so that was, they taught me stuff, so they, because they're not so, the color, I'm like, that's so good, like, they're not afraid at all. I showed them these, and that's
there are some pretzel chips and little pastries in the back. Help yourself while I'm talking if you'd like a little treat. But I'm going to go ahead and get going. All right, with my little bottle of water here. So welcome to our February meeting. We have with us tonight MaryAnn Smith, who will be doing demo and a presentation. She's got all kinds of fun stuff for us. But we do have a lot of member business also. So I'm going to get going through that, and hopefully we'll get through it all and give her as much presentation time as possible. So first off, the UWS Spring Open 2018 Open Exhibition, say it 3 times fast, is open. The call for entries is open. You should have received an email if you are a UWS member. You should have received an email with the announcement that it was open. And if you're not, you can go to the website and click the link, or if you trashed the email already, you can go to the website. It's on the home page. The prospectus is there. The link to register is there. And that registration closes on March 20th. So get painting. If you haven't, I've been telling you to paint since December, so hopefully you were. But if you haven't, time to get going now and enter that open exhibition. This is a big deal. one of the reasons you want to enter the spring exhibition is because there's different levels of membership in Utah Watercolor Society. There's a general member, which everybody starts out at. But when you get into a spring exhibition, you get 1 star. And when you get into the second spring exhibition, you get 2 stars. And then you're qualified to enter the 2-star or / signature member show every other year, which is just for members who achieve 2-star status or signature status. And then there are other requirements to achieve signature status, and we'll discuss that at a different meeting. But spring show is a big deal, so try and enter, because you don't know if you don't try. Our juror, by the way, is Jeannie McGuire, and I'm going to talk about her a little bit later. Now, for those who are entering, or for those who've had a little challenge entering shows lately, because we went to an online entry system called ArtCall. So I put together a little instructional presentation for you. And this presentation is also linked on the website and in your prospectus. So you can get to this document at any time and print it out if you want to follow along, and hopefully it's not confusing. I've had a few people look at it, so hopefully it's not confusing. If it is, you can call me or email me, Jennifer Love. I'm in your directory, and I will walk you through it, okay? So I wanted to go through these instructions with you, and there's also some written instructions on your prospectus, so we're trying to make it as easy as possible for you to use this system. But repetition helps. So the first thing you're going to do is go to your show that you're entering. Now I did this with the 2-star signature exhibition. You'll be doing it with the spring exhibition. The point is you're going to click the link that's in the prospectus, or click the link that's on the announcement that says register here or enter here, and it'll take you to our ArtCall website. And the ArtCall landing page, the first page of your website, is going to look like this. It's going to tell you on the left side what exhibition you're looking at, what the dates are, and all the pertinent information. And on the middle part, it's going to give you more pertinent information and a link to the prospectus so that you can get all of the rules of the exhibition, and tell you some information about how to enter. Then you're going to register. Now, if you have previously used ArtCall, if you've not previously used ArtCall, you're going to set up an ArtCall account for yourself on this your first time by clicking that green register button. If you have used ArtCall before, you already have an account, and all you have to do is log in. You click on your blue login button there at the top of the page, and then you can use your previous username and password that you used to set up your account originally. Then you're going to come to the user login screen where you can put your stuff in. If you've forgotten your password, you can recover it like you do with other websites. Then, when you're in your existing account, and if you're in a new account, it's going to ask you for all this information. If you're in an existing account, it'll take you to a user profile page, and you want to make sure that all of your information on this page is correct. Update your phone number or other information if you need it. And make sure that you click the agree boxes at the bottom of the user profile page. After you've checked all that information, it's going to bring you to this page, which is your submissions page. And from this page, you will pay for the number of submissions you want to pay for. Now, in this show, you can do up to 3 entries. You could, if you choose, pay for all 3 of those entries at one time, or you can pay for 1 at a time. And you can always come back into the ArtCall system later. Like, you could pay for it now, and then log into it later to upload your painting image. So you don't have to do it all in one shot. You can do it in stages, and it saves all of the information that you've entered up to that point. So if you're not sure that you're going to have 3 paintings ready, pay for 1 at a time. Pay for 1, enter it, come back, pay for your second one, enter it, come back and pay for your third one and enter it. The price remains the same, it doesn't matter. But we can't refund your money, like if you pay for all 3 up front and then you only enter 1, we can't separate those refunds out. So know that when you committed the financial, you are committing your artwork, or you're committing your finances even if you don't put your artwork in. So be prepared to enter. Okay, on the submissions page, you're going to click on the Add New Submission button to put in your first painting. You'll be taken, the first time you try to enter a painting, they're going to say, nope, we need your money first. So it'll take you immediately to your payment page. You can choose how many paintings you want to pay for and enter at that time. Put your details in, click Submit Payment. Once it's submitted, you'll be taken back to an Add Entry Details page to enter the information about your painting. Fill in these details. This is going to be the size of your painting, that kind of stuff. Make sure you put 0 in the depth section because we're all painting on paper. So for this exhibition, there's no third dimension. But the system has to know that because it's just not smart enough if you don't put a 0 in. Next, you're going to put in your painting image. Please read these directions carefully that are on this page, and then click Add Attachment button. And it seems like it's maybe a little blurry on the screen here, but it's clear. It'll be clear on the PDF file that you've received in your email or that you click on through the website. Once you've uploaded your picture, a small version of it is going to appear on the page, the little thumbnail, so you can see what painting it was that you uploaded. And then you can click on Complete and View Entry. When you click on Complete and View Entry, it brings you back to that original submissions page, and you can see that there is now one submission, the title of the entry, and the thumbnail, etc. If you decide you're going to change your mind and you want to put in a different painting instead of this original one, and I actually did this because I had used this painting as a test, but that's not actually the painting I put into the show. So if you need to change a painting, you can change the title of it, you can change all those dimensions and stuff, but don't ever, never, see how I have a big red never on the bottom right corner? Never click the large trash can in the bottom right corner. If you want to replace a painting photo, click the small trash can that's right underneath the photo. If you click the big trash can, you're going to lose your whole thing. So just pretend that button's not there. The big trash can just, you didn't see anything with the big trash can. Okay, so if you need to replace your photo, click the small trash can. If you need to replace or change the details of your entry, you can click those little blue edit buttons right next to it. When you're done with your submissions, this page then shows you how many you've entered. In this case, I have 2 on the page. You can always return to the page, as I said, to edit your entries at any time until the submission deadline closes, till the submissions close. So you'll have till March 20th, probably 8 p.m. That's what we've been closing them at, not positive on that. And so you can make edits to this at any time. You can swap out your paintings, you can make size changes, make better photo uploads, whatever you need to do up until the entry closes. So then when you're all done, at the very top right hand of your page, you can click that little gear icon and log out, or you can just close your browser, which is what I usually do. So that is the end of it's quick. I know I just ran through it very quickly here because we're in a meeting. However, like I said, this little presentation is in a PDF document that is linked on the website on the exhibitions page. And it was also linked to inside the prospectus that is sent out for the spring show. So if you bring up the prospectus, there should be a link to the instructions there. Or you can call or email me and I'll send you the link. And if you have questions, there are a number of people, including myself, who are happy to help you through the process. So we don't want you to be afraid to enter a show because the computer issue is bugging you. It's really pretty easy once you've been through it one time. It's pretty simple, but you have to go through it that first time or it can be a little scary. So hopefully the illustrated instructions will help you, and those are available in multiple places. Okay, moving on. Now, because the spring show is open, you have to take photos, or really good photos, or scans if you're scanning them. But if you're taking photos, you need really good, clear, well-lit photos of your paintings to make them represented in their best way. If you're not used to doing this yourself, but you would like some photography help, Mara Naughton, is Mara still here?
Yep.
Oh, they're in the back. Mara?
You know, we're always glad to help. Jim always likes to get his camera equipment out. We just would like you to sign up in advance.
Yes, so Mara's husband and Mara will come and they'll set up at the March meeting downstairs with lighting and camera equipment and give you some really great digital photos of your paintings, which you can then use to enter the show and whatever else you want to do with them. This service is free, but we do request that you make a donation, if you would, to the Mary Straight Scholarship Fund of any denomination that you wish. But just, it's one of the things that we do to keep fundraising for our scholarship fund so that we have scholarships from funding from one year to the next for the scholarships that we hand out. So a sign-up sheet for just an RSVP sheet will be coming in your email inbox very soon, and you can, so that we can just give Mara and her husband kind of a head count, because it does cost them some money to rent the lighting and equipment, which they pay for. And they want to make sure that they at least make enough back to reimburse that. So, but the rest of the donation, do you pay for that out of pocket, Mara?
So far, I consider it a donation to the scholarship fund.
So she's actually paid for that out of pocket, and all of the money that you contributed has gone directly to the fund. So, but they want to make it worth their while if they're going to pay for that equipment. So, look for that email. Sign up. I'm sorry, I keep spinning the microphone here. Sign up soon, and I think we'll probably put a link to that sign-up sheet also on the website by the spring show announcement. So, should you have a lot of places. So, speaking of scholarship, this past Saturday was the opening ceremony and awards ceremony for the Springville High School All-State Art Exhibition. It's a big name. I don't know if I got it right. But anyway, the Springville Museum of Art has a competition or an exhibition every year that is open to all high school juniors and seniors in the state of Utah. And there's some really great art here, and it's all genres, 3D and 2D art, and there's installation pieces there. There's all kinds of really interesting art, really good art there. So go check out the show, for one thing, because it's fabulous. But one of the things that the Utah Watercolor Society and the Cache Valley chapter of the Utah Watercolor Society does every year is awards a scholarship to 2 of those high school artists. One of them is selected from somebody who is in the Cache Valley area, and that's the Cache Valley Award. And the other is selected from somewhere around the rest of the state, and that is the UWS Award. So Julie and I, Julie, who's your vice president, wave, had an opportunity to go down this past Saturday and present the scholarship award to the UWS winner. Her name was Nicole Brooks. Her painting is here on the left. It was called Woofo or Bounce. I forgot to ask her what that meant, but I was curious, and we talked to her for quite a while, and I completely forgot to ask her. And she was thinking maybe was going to come. Did she come? Is Nicole here? There she is. So you can tell us what it means. So do you want to come up for a minute?
Sure.
So this is Nicole from Jordan High School, and we'll let her tell you about her piece.
Yeah, so my piece is called Woofo or Bounce. It's well, okay, so what I was doing with this when I painted it, I was taking a lot of risks with the paint. I used a really big brush, and although I used pretty much a primary colored palette, it's I don't know, there are some swatches of color and in strange places that I was just kind of taking some risks with. So when I was working on it, I was thinking about skydivers and the risk that they take when they jump out of a plane and stuff. But Woofo is a term in skydiving for somebody who chickens out and doesn't jump. and bounce is the worst possible thing that can happen.
So awesome. I'm so glad you came. I'm so glad, and you brought your mom with you, yeah?
Yep.
So, yeah, we were just so excited, and it was such a wonderful piece, and hopefully she will take, she received a cash award. Each winner receives a cash award in check, and also a really big, nice art portfolio, zipper portfolio that's stocked full of art supplies for college. So, and Tom Howard at the back there, he's our scholarship coordinator this year, and he also is an art professor at Slick. So he kind of had an idea of what kind of things a first-year art student would need. So it was just a really fun show. It was really great work, and we're so excited for Nicole, and we expect to see great things out of her. We said we'll kind of keep track of her, but not in a stalkery way. So we'll just, stalk her on Facebook or something. So anyway, the other winner was for the UWS CVC chapter, and her name was Serenity Bure, and she goes to Weaver High School, and her piece is on the right here, and it's called Halt. And she was unable to attend the ceremony, but she will be attending, last I heard, she will be attending the Cache Valley chapter meeting next week. So if you want to receive her award, so if you want to meet her and learn about her piece, run up to Cache Valley to the Logan Library and go to their meeting next week at the same time. I think it's at 7, right? So anyway, we're just so excited for these. This is one of the good things that's just a community outreach thing that the Watercolor Society does. We want to make sure that we're encouraging art in young people of all ages, not just the young people that are normally in this room. So, so we want to just encourage that. Arts it's challenged in secondary schools. When funding gets cut, the art programs are often the first thing to go. So we want to make sure that we're supporting the arts and supporting the students and supporting those who have the artistic drive, that it's, that they should continue it, that they should pursue it. So, moving on to Western Federation of Watercolor Societies 2018. We had 10 members from Utah Watercolor Society accepted to this year's show. So that is pretty awesome. So congratulations to all of those people: Shirley Bailey, Joyce Barron, Sharia Ernst, Christy Grissendorf, Rebecca Hartwigson, Sue Martin, Mary Pusey, Ian Ramsey, Sean Rowley, and Brian Thane. All fabulous paintings, all fabulous artists, and all of them are fabulous people, and I'm so excited for everybody. Sadly, my name is not on the list, and a lot of us didn't get on, but we will keep trying, we will persevere, and all of these people are so deserving, and we're very excited and supportive of them. So, sorry, that was meant to be funny, but maybe it seemed not. If you have announcements that you would like to put out to the membership, if you are teaching a workshop or you have an exhibition that's not a UWS sponsored exhibition, one of your member benefits is that you can have that sent out to the members in an e-blast and also announced in our newsletter. So that information is to be sent to Mary Pusey. Her email is marypusey@comcast.net. The FYI e-blast goes out every month, and the newsletter comes out bi-monthly. And if you'll send her a little bit of information about your event or your announcement and some pictures, she will include that in those different areas. So we'll make sure that people know about what's coming up for you. So we want all of your exciting art news. We want to let everybody know about it. As always, our illustrated journaling group, led by Bess Ann Swanson, meets downstairs before the UWS meeting every month at 6:30 p.m. So please be on time for that. She is a stickler for time, but it is a super fun activity to do, and anybody is welcome. And there is a wheelchair access ramp that goes around the building down to the doors there. So if you need ADA access, it is available. Speaking of member meetings, since I brought this up before the monthly meeting, in May, our member meetings are normally the first Tuesday of every month. But in May this year, our member meeting is going to be the second Tuesday, the 8th. So please be aware of that. Make a note on your calendars. We'll be sending reminders. That is because our presenter, who is also our week-long workshop instructor and the juror and judge for our spring exhibition, Jeannie McGuire, she will be here the week of May 7th. So our meeting that week or that month will be on May 8th so that she can present to you while she's here. We have invited the Intermountain Society of Artists to join us for that meeting as well, because that's normally their meeting night, and they agreed to switch meeting nights with us, but we thought it would be nice to see if they just wanted to come watch Jeannie present. So I think that they will be joining us for that night. Our February paint out this month. Every month there's a paint out. It's on a Saturday always. It's at 10 a.m. always. The date changes a little bit. This month is Cactus and Tropicals. It's at the Draper location, which, if I've typed it in correctly, it is 12252 South Draper Gate Drive. And after you go paint out, pack up your traveling paints and go paint some pretty flowers and whatever else you find there, then the group of people who show up also usually get together and go to lunch. So it's a great way. There's no requirements. It's not a competition. You don't have to be a plein air painter. You can still go try it out, and it's a good way to get to know your fellow artists. We have our February mini workshop, our January mini workshop, which was with Ian Ramsey, was really great, and our next one coming up is March. And I had put on the slide that it was open, but I found out today that it's actually full. So if you're interested in this workshop and you didn't get signed up early enough, contact Sandy Sleeper, and she can put you on a waiting list, and she'll let you know if anybody drops out. So also, as I mentioned, Jeannie McGuire is teaching our spring week-long workshop from May 7th to 11th, as well as being the judge and juror for our exhibition and demonstrating for us on Tuesday night at our meeting. So we are keeping her busy that whole week. There are a few spots left in this workshop. So if you're interested in it, you can click on the link to register that's on our home page. There will also be a mini workshop the previous weekend in Cache Valley. So if you are not interested or can't take the full week, sometimes we have work conflicts or things like that come up, but you want to do a Friday, Saturday one instead, you have that opportunity up in Cache Valley. We'll be getting that information out very soon. You can contact Cheryl Gordon for more information, or if you want to just give her your name for a persons of interest list. And we'll have more information about that really soon. And then we'd like to invite Kent Baker, who is our Cache Valley president, to come up and give you the Cache Valley announcements.
We'll be having our monthly meeting on the 13th, and we're having Margaret Pettis is going to be presenting. And if you don't make it, you can wait a month, and she'll be presenting here. So that should be quite exciting. And she'll be talking about empowering sketching. Let's see what else. Tom Howard on March. I was just going to read. On the February 17th, we're going to be having a mini workshop on Photoshop, working with paintings or digital photography. Basically so that we can upgrade our photos that we're doing, make them look right, and make them correct. So we'll be doing that. We'll be at Skyview High School up in Cache Valley. Let's see.
missing your April on the side.
Yeah, I'm not sure it's in April, so, to be announced in April, we will be letting you know. I think there was some discussion, so, thank you very much.
All right. Sorry, my bad for repeating the March and then the March. So don't forget March. March. Your March member meeting. It's going to be Tom Howard. And Margaret Pettis, I was told tonight, she's doing an interactive meeting here. So she'll be our March presenter. I'll mention her in just a minute, and we'll give you those details. A couple other things I wanted to mention. Besides the photography help, that's one fundraising thing that we try to do for the Mary Straight Scholarship Funds. Another thing that we're going to try out, excuse me, this spring is an opportunity drawing. So I'm in the process of getting that set up, and it will be emailed out to you. But Tom will also bring just a box where you can fill out a paper slip as well with your name and information on it. For everyone who donates $10 to the Mary Straight Scholarship Fund, for every $10 you donate, you will receive one entry into an opportunity drawing. The opportunity drawing is for a free registration to the Jeannie McGuire workshop. Now, if you have already signed up and paid, you will be refunded what you paid for it, and we'll open up one more spot for somebody else. But if you are interested in the workshop and you're just a little wary about the price, or you're not sure if you want to do it because you haven't done a workshop before, this is a good way to maybe take a chance at being able to go. So if you donate $50, you get 5 entries. If you donate $10, you get 1. So we'll track that, and then we will announce the winner of that opportunity drawing at the April member meeting. So you'll have another month to get your supplies together and stuff for the workshop. So look for that email coming soon with the sign-up list and the chance to donate, and also come to the March meeting. And Tom will have a box. He will not have a box at the April meeting because we have to have a name ready for you by then. So the March meeting is your opportunity. If you want to come and pay cash or write a check for it, then come do that at the March meeting. And otherwise, there will be a PayPal link and you can donate that way. So look for it soon. Hopefully that'll go well, and it's something that we can do for all of our big workshops. And if it doesn't go well, then bad idea, and I won't do it again. We always want to mention that our Utah Watercolor Society is funded in part by the residents of Salt Lake County through the Zoo Arts and Parks program, which we all call the ZAP. And your support, if you live in Salt Lake County, really helps. It really matters. So thank you for your tax dollars that help support many different nonprofit organizations in Salt Lake County, and we're grateful to be one of those. They get many, many applications. Every year they get more, and they don't have more money every year. So it's a competitive process, and we're very grateful to have any help that we can get with that. All right, tonight we have, as we mentioned, MaryAnn Free-Smith, and I'm going to let Emily Thomas introduce her in a moment. And next month we have Margaret Pettis, as Kent mentioned. Margaret will be at their meeting next week if you want to go, as well as Serenity Bure, the high school scholarship winner for Cache Valley. And then when she comes to our meeting next month, I'm told that she wants people to bring sketch paper and pencils and ink, pens.
I'll send that information. You can put it out in class, okay?
Yes.
So kind of specific about what she wants, but it's general stuff.
Okay. And we'll have tables set up instead of just chairs, so you can come and participate. And if you don't want to participate, just come and watch. That's okay. She's not giving you a grade. It's all right. So it'll be fun. So tonight, MaryAnn Free-Smith and Emily Thomas is going to give us her introduction.
Hey, I'm super excited to have MaryAnn here. Linda asked me to help her get some of the people to present, and MaryAnn was one of the very first people I thought about. I know MaryAnn because my sister was married to her son for a little while, And we share like a beautiful girl named Savannah. Savannah is my niece, it's her granddaughter. And so I've got to see her over the years quite a few times. And every single time I went to her house, I just was in awe of her watercolors. I mean, you know, would be over there visiting or whatever, and I just wanted to stomp through the house and just stare at all of her watercolors. I didn't watercolor at the time, and I can honestly tell you, my sister still has a watercolor of hers it's beautiful. It's an adobe house with like these flags flying, and it's so translucent. And every time I go over, I love that painting. And I love this other one that she brought too, this one right here. I'm so thankful she brought it. But I wanted to watercolor after I saw those. I was like, I loved it. So I think we're so lucky to have her here tonight. Let me tell you just a little bit about her. She was in Alpine for a long time. I think she's in Orem now, is that right? Yes. She's painted for a long time, and she has numerous awards, and she's been in a lot of exhibits. She went to BYU, and then she went on to University of Utah and did more art studies. And I could read about Best of Show, Watercolor West, twice winner, Best of Show, Utah Watercolor Society. I mean, it just goes on and on. Arizona Art Guild Award. I printed them off, but it's long. I won't read it to you because I want her to have time to present tonight. But she's also got a lot of paintings in permanent collections. Arizona State Capitol Building, Springville Museum of Art, the Beehive House, Salt Lake City, Shamrock Mining and Metals, the Dolores Eccles Building, University of Utah, Deseret Book Illustrations, and lots of other numerous private collections. She has some of her kids here tonight. Rachel was helping her set up. They came to support her. I think that's so cute. She has 8 children. She has 18 grandchildren. One more is on the way. I didn't know if we were going to get her tonight because it could be tomorrow or it could have been tonight. When she emailed and told me that, my heart kind of stopped. I was like, oh, please let her come. And then she has 3, almost 4 great-grandchildren. And so I just want you guys to warmly welcome her. I think we're so lucky to have her. And look at her art, it speaks for itself. So thank you so much.
Okay, we're going to do a little technical shuffle here, so amuse yourselves for about a minute.
Okay, so while she's doing the technical shuffle, I'm going to pass out some cards. Or these guys can pass out the cards. And there's a question. Can you hear me? It says, why do I paint? So while these are getting me hooked up here. Okay, let's see, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay. Why do I paint? So I want you to write it down. You can't say, I'm compelled to. You have to say, I'm compelled to because. Okay, so I know you're a bunch of artists. Artists do not like to be told what to do. So this is just a suggestion. And if we run out, I have 3x5 cards. Okay, so is it my turn?
Sorry, yes.
Not yet?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you're
It
good.
is my turn.
Yeah, you're on. You're on,
Anyway,
sorry.
here are these 3x5 cards if you need more. I really want to thank the Utah Watercolor Society. I feel like I've benefited tremendously. The presidents, the board, all the stuff they do, bringing amazing national watercolor artists to Utah. And I made a rule for myself that I would go to as many of those workshops as I could, because then I didn't have to get a motel or travel too far. And so you know, I've had the opportunity to study with Irving Shapiro, Catherine Chang Liu, and I mean, those are the two I can think of right now. But I think it's fabulous, and I appreciate all the work that the board does for us and to support watercolor in youth. Thank you. Okay, so start thinking about why you paint. Some of you already know the answer, but if you can put it in words. Okay, so actually I wanted to, I paint from life, and especially when I do a still life, and photography. So that's what I wanted to demo tonight. And I was a little bit haughty, because I thought, oh, I can just bring this little thing and I'll paint it. I'm going to paint for 30 minutes, and then I have a slide show I want to do. So my first practice painting took an hour. My second practice painting took a little more than an hour. And then it was so much fun to paint these. And the first two were apples, a green apple and a red apple, but pomegranates are my fruit. It's my metaphor fruit. Because you have to work really hard to get a little juice. So I've done a series of pomegranate paintings, and if I keep talking, I for sure won't get this done. I have to push start on my timer. When the timer goes off, no matter where I am, I'm going to stop. So this is the palette I use when I go out in the woods to paint. And so I just have a minimum of pigments on here, but ultramarine blue, cobalt, some kind of lavender or purple. This one right, this will either be alizarin crimson, but I think right now it's quinacridone rose, cobalt orange. Let's see, what's that one? This one's azo yellow. So this will be, what's the
Yellow, cadmium yellow.
No,
Tonsil.
it's the most transparent. I'm sorry, you guys, I can't see it. Anyway, it's yellow. Gamboge. Thank you. I said that. Raw sienna, burnt umber. Let's see. What happens when you get out in front of people? That green is olive green and sap green. So because I'm, you know, when I'm out, you need a lot of blues and greens, and that's why I put that on there. But in my studio, I have a John Pike palette, and so I have warm and cool of each color, and a whole bunch of blues, because we like blues, don't we? Lots of different blues. Okay, so you guys can feel free to talk while I try to do this.
What first got you into painting? What did you say?
You know, that's a really good question.
What was the question?
What
What got you into painting?
Yeah, what got me into painting? Because there was a time when I thought I'd be a potter, you know, a ceramicist. And then I liked doing prints. But I took those classes at BYU, so, and I had a fabulous high school art teacher. And we actually had a kick wheel, so we did work with clay. And I won a little bronze award in the high school show. They held it then at the old Granite High School.
Oh, yeah?
But it was for a sculpture, a rock sculpture. So, I mean, that's the kind of wonderful teacher we had. We had lots of
opportunities. So why did I start to paint? My grandma gave me a set of oil paints. So I had the supplies, and I used them. And then when we lived in Germany, somewhere, we moved a lot, and somewhere along the line, my oil paints disappeared. That's kind of a big investment. And, oh, my husband, I started, well, do you guys want to hear this?
Sure, I'd rather watch you paint.
I thought I would live in a home that always had fresh flowers, an arrangement of fresh flowers. So I signed up for a flower arranging class. Because, you know, I mean, are you guys like this? Sometimes when you see a class, an art class that's offered, and you see what the teacher's done, which you guys will probably think that tonight, you think, oh, I can do that. I don't need to go to that class. I can already do that. What? Oh, that's paint. I might just quit right before it gets hard here if I keep talking. Okay. Okay, these are worn out Kolinsky sable brushes. And the funny thing is, I have a box of new Kolinsky sable brushes. They're a different brand. And I got those out because these are so worn out. On the box I had written, "Do not use these brushes." I thought that was funny. Well, because I wanted to wear these out before I started on the new ones. And, but I don't like the new ones. They're stiff enough. So, anyway, so I'm painting, I'm still, now this one isn't that old and it's not that worn out. It says Rhapsody, Kolinsky sable. Oh, Creative Mark. So is that Cheap Joe's brand? Or maybe Dick Blick's brand. Anyway, but I like this brush a lot. This is a size 4. But I'm kind of hard on brushes. But I really do like the Kolinsky sable because of this. You can do that with them. Okay, I have to hurry. Okay, it's telling you the story. So I signed up. When I got to sign up for the watercolor class, I saw the display of paintings that the watercolor teacher was offering. And I thought, oh, I can learn from her. Her name's Wendy Klaus. And she's British. But we painted, it's so wonderful. A bunch of us painted in an attic in Germany. And watercolor was the right medium for me, because I had a bunch of little kids, and so there's not a lot of toxic, there's no open time. I could put everything in a box and under the bed and paint at night, and it was great. And so I fell in love with watercolor. And for a while we lived in Augsburg, and that's where, and I'm going to talk about this later on, that's where old Albert Dürer lived. Oops, that's not all right. So, anyway, thanks for asking. Oh, I was gonna tell you about the pomegranates, the rest of the pomegranate paintings. So I framed them and they're over there. I hope you'll take time to look at them. They were so much fun to paint. I quit trying to be fast and just, you know, started embellishing. I've got polka dots on one and one of the pomegranate paintings I did, I had a cousin who lived in Malacca Valley, in Nevada, where pomegranates grow. That's another thing. Pomegranates grow in desert, hot. You know, so it's kind of a rough place to grow. And so I called her and I said, Linda, send me some pomegranates. And she said, well, you have them in the store up there, don't you? I said, yes, but, you know, they've all been through, they've been sorted and they're all perfect. They're all the same. And so I want some that are like they come off the tree, big and small. She sent them to me. I've got a box of pomegranates, which I loved to paint. And just like this one was beautiful and round and shiny when I got it, of course, but it's been sitting around in my cool basement. And now it's all, has a lot of personality, which I like. You guys like that too, don't you? So I tried to put a highlight right here, but I lost it. So this paper that I'm painting on is Strathmore Imperial. Do any of you guys paint on that? And here's what's happening at my house. I have a lot of supplies that I've ordered and over time, and then I haven't used. So I'm actually using, and when I pulled this out, I really like it. It's a better quality than the Strathmore that you buy in the tablets at the craft store. And but it has a hard surface, so you can lift off. And because it has a hard surface, you have to be a little bit careful about doing a whole bunch of washes because you disturb the underwash. But I like this paper. I'm probably going to use it again. You guys should try it. So John Singer Sargent, he said, watercolor is an emergency. I read that somewhere. I thought, pretty true. So I didn't worry too much about the drawing. If this had been a more serious, I don't mean to say this isn't as serious, this is pretty serious. I might have been more careful with the drawing. And also I knew when I figured that there wouldn't be an opportunity to have directional light. You know, when you're doing a still life, it's really good to have one major light source. So, but that's kind of exciting here too, because the light is coming from all around, and and et cetera. You guys can see just what you'd be doing if you were up here, right?
So do you usually start and finish your painting before you start another one?
I usually do, yeah. Most always. How about you?
Yeah, I usually do get involved.
You know, when you paint in oils, you can have 2 or 3 going at a time, but I think it's more my, this is really dark right here. It's still very red. It would be good if I had that alizarin crimson on here. Did I miss the garbage can on that one? I have a bad habit of shaking my, that's why I have this sponge here. I'm supposed to go like that. Anyway, I was going to say I didn't worry too much about the drawing, so the drawing might be off more than I would want it to be. I'm just using the paint that's already on the paper. I'm going to soften these edges a little bit.
MaryAnn, one thing I've always loved about your paintings is that they're so like vibrant. Like, how do you dare be so brave with your colors?
I don't know.
I mean, look at that red.
I try to. I try to be. I think about it because by nature I paint more gently and more, well, with maybe less contrast. And so I got that curve on. So I try to, I think about it. And one thing is, this is pretty red and dark. It's dark red, this guy. So what I'm painting is vibrant, but, oh, thanks for saying that. I'm glad you think that.
Did you take lessons while you were in Germany?
Yes.
As
Yes.
an adult or a child?
Adult. Yeah. Yeah, Rachel that came to help me set up, she was my baby, and every Thursday afternoon, 1 o'clock to about 3, I got a babysitter. And that is the wonderful thing about taking a class. You actually get your brushes wet. You know, you get your gear together and you do something about it. And so I'm for classes. See my hand? Not going to get a very good line here.
I got one just like it.
Yeah. It happens, doesn't it? Oh, well, you guys don't care. You just want to see what how I'm going to mess up here, right? No, you're cheering for me, right? I know you're cheering for me. Okay. Ooh. Got some nasty color in there. So I am going to emphasize this yellow light on here a little bit more than it actually is, just for the fun of it. Okay, so 10-minute warning. Okay, so I think that you want to see what is going to happen right here. And I have to get some highlights on here. And this is going to be, this is wet and that is wet. It's too wet. So it's going to bleed. But I don't probably like that if it does. And now it's all about how much, the ratio of pigment to water, right? How much it travels on the wet page and bleeds. So I hope I have thicker pigment on here. Because I'm going to paint, but because of these checkered fabric, there are these reflections of light in the glass. And it's kind of fun to try to make that happen. Now I have to use this again. And they're weird shapes too, because I guess the shape of the glass and the crazy lighting that we're dealing with here. Okay, so there's light reflected down here too. Oh, that really got nice and rich. Look at that beautiful color. Not quite red enough. Put more red in there. You guys are glad I put the timer on. This could take all night. you know, when you're doing a still life, and especially when it's this close, if you just move this much, it changes the perspective. Okay. All right, I'm just going to hurry now on this because I want to get over here to the so you can see a little bit about how I might paint the checkered fabric. Luckily, actually, because this pomegranate is all bumpy and nubbly, when you're painting an apple, you can just do your whole, just keep your brush smooth, you know. And I found it kind of interesting to paint the crazy pomegranates. Did you guys want me to finish that sentence? 5 minutes. By mid-morning. Okay. So there's all this nice color in the glass under here. Even though it doesn't look very colorful, it is more colorful, and darn, I'm going to have to wait for it to dry before I can start painting that. I love it when it runs.
Yes.
Isn't it exciting? I mean, I really think it, woo. I mean, what? Runs and blooms, what does that mean? Watercolor! Right? Okay, so I'm gonna look at this, so because I haven't painted the glass. That's one reason I wanted to do this, is to show painting glass. That's going to be too blue. You can see why my brushes wear out, because I'm always fooling around. Okay, whoops. Now, I'm going to do this because I can't wait for that to dry. I've only, I've got 4 minutes here. So this, this check on here. When you're painting checkers, have you ever painted the wrong check? So you have black, white, black, black, white.
So which black do you use?
So I'm just using, really, I'm using burnt umber and cobalt blue.
Okay.
I've got to get it darker. So inside the glass, the reflections they're dark in places and then they fade out. Just like this one. It's dark We're in the point and then it fades. I don't want this to bleed, so I'm going to be a little bit careful and leave some paper there. Okay, so I moved and can't get a different perspective if I'm staring. This crystally stuff right here. Oh, time's up. Well, I didn't get very far. I apologize for that, but I hope that you when I look at it in an hour or so, I'll think it's more wonderful than I think it is right now. Okay, so now I'm going to talk, I hope you don't mind, and show some slides. Should I take my business microphone tape? Should I take it off?
I think it's not fine. If you're going to stand there, then you can use that one.
Okay. It actually looks better on the screen. Okay, so let's see. What should I do to advance the?
Oh, just to push the down arrow.
Okay. Can somebody read this? Who can see it well enough to read?
We could turn it on.
Okay, so I'll have the light, maybe.
Yes.
Look at that kid's snowman. What a pathetic cliche. Am I supposed to identify with this complacent moron and his shovel? This snowman says nothing about the human condition. Is this all the kid has to say about contemporary suburban life? The soulless banality of this snowman is a sad comment on today's art world. Now come look at my snowman. I call it the torment of existence, weighed against the horror of non-being. And as he melts, the sculpture will become even more poignant. I admire your willingness to put artistic integrity before marketability.
Back to the regular snowman.
Oh, why do you paint? Did any of you write anything down? I wish I had a prize for you. So that's something I think we ought to think about. This is called cake pans and pie tins, but my mom called it Nightmare in the Kitchen. But I just put that up so you have something to look at while I talk. So when I was in third grade, and I know I was in third grade because I know what house we were living in, I colored a coloring page in a coloring book, and it was Spanish dancers. And I just thought it was so fabulous. You know, I mean the colors and that I used and everything. I liked it so much that I saved that coloring page. And years later, when I was in junior high or high school, I found the coloring page. And when I looked at it, I thought, why did I think that was so fabulous? But those are the colors I still love. And I still have on my palette. And I didn't realize this until, what happened to the other one? I mean, the reds and blues and purples and, anyway, I really didn't think about it until I was doing this thing, that those little paintings, those are my colors. You guys have a palette too, I know you do. I know you have favorites that you use and go to. Okay, so this is another one. I went backwards. Did you guys see that one? Yes. So this one is called The Shadows Flee. And honestly, that one, Best of Show at Utah Watercolor Society, spring show one year. And so I asked one of the board members, because, I got a little card that said, you'd better be sure to come, because you got an award. And I rushed in to the painting that I thought would get the award. And honestly, it said honorable mention by this other painting. And oh, okay, well, I'm glad I got that. And I didn't even look at this one. And somebody said, MaryAnn, come over here and look. When it was Best of Show. So I said, why? And the board member said, the juror said, because there was nothing else like it in the show. So that's kind of instructive, isn't it? So this is the story. One of my good friends had a birthday party for me at luncheon and invited a bunch of ladies. And my assistant. So at this birthday party, the different ladies were talking, and one of them mentioned the death of a young mother in her neighborhood that was quite sudden. And so I started thinking, kind of tuned out with what's going on around me, and I started thinking, what would I do if I knew I was only going to wear the short flannel? And I had a pretty big epiphany, which I realized three things that were so very important to me. And one of the three things was my art. And so, in my daughter's words, she was coaching me, I won't say here, got to work and painted the paintings that were in my heart. And that I had, this lineup of paintings you have in your brain that you want to do someday. I started painting those paintings. And in my sketchbook, I had sketches of paintings I wanted to do. And one of the things that resulted from that is a series I called my Daughter's Series. And so this is the sketch I put in my sketchbook so I wouldn't forget what I wanted to do. And really, I think it was a couple of years later when I started really working out the problems of the idea. And my idea was to show the stages, different stages my daughters were in. And I asked, how can I put this idea onto a flat piece of paper? And this was my working sketch. That's how it evolved. And so there's a window in there, and the window represents the future. And here's the painting. Oops. Painting. It's frozen. What should I do? Figure. Oh, darn. Okay, well, I'll keep talking. Did it go? Did it time out? Okay, so I asked myself, how can I show this idea on a flat surface? And as I was working it out, and how I could place the daughters and what it would mean. So my oldest daughter, she is married and had a baby, and she was very engaged in the future. She's looking into the future. Remember, the window represents the future. And my other daughter, she was just graduating from high school, so she had to at least glance at the future. But this daughter, she was in ninth grade, and so she's just, what, me worried? Looking out at the viewer, and her life's planned for her. She doesn't have to think about it too much. So that's how I worked it out. And some of the design issues, well, I have the girls in Levi's, and I have bare feet on them because I want to show vulnerability. And the window, it's where it is in the wall, it's totally for design purposes, because if those girls walked over to the window, they'd have to bend over to look out. But I put the square, the checkered floor in perspective. That's my reference to the Renaissance. And I have the girls in the uniform of the day, Levi's and T-shirts. And then I put the checks around the outside. It acts as a corral. It corrals your eyes. And it also says this is just a flat piece of paper. So anyway, this next painting this is the first painting in my daughter's series. It's called The Empty Chair. This is my little granddaughter Lauren, but the image, her image fits within the square. So she has a checked fabric. Okay, so this one is called Innocence and Courage. And what I wanted to show on this one is, the parent of a new baby, the sky is the limit. We just feel like that child, has so much potential. But there's also a lot of trials and tribulations, and so those I-beams hold up the floor, and under the floor, it's all the tribulations and everything. It's fiery. It's fiery. But as soon, our design ideas don't always work out on every painting. As soon as I put squares around that painting, and I used gold, I knew it was a mistake, because it served to stop that idea. It diminished the idea of, the sky is the limit for the growth. So this is what the painting looks like when that is cropped out.
Much better.
And it's a lot more satisfying, I think.
Yeah.
So now I'm just going to show you a few paintings of my sons to show parity. Oh wait, there's one more. Here's another one. This is called Downside Up. That's a sketch for it. And I took a class. I went up to Park City. The Utah Watercolor Society workshop was there with Irving Shapiro. He's passed away now, but in that class, one of our exercises, we did a painting And then he had us do that same painting in half the time. So I did this painting, and you know, you want to accept it, you spend all this time on it, but I decided, okay, I'm going to do it again in half the time. And it's a full-size sheet, by the way. So this is the resultant painting. And the sofa was not checked. Wasn't checked, so I had to make that up. But I had to have the checks, you know. And Charlotte was 12. And I thought, she has her feet in the light, not her brain. And, you know, she's the age where you find out that your parents are fallible and all that kind of stuff. So I posed her on the sofa like that. Her face got more red and more red. Pretty soon I realized, okay, I'm going to have to do photography, and I painted it in black and white. And to get the perspective of the checks going back on that armrest, I wanted to see how that really would look, so I had a checkered dishcloth, put it on there so I could see that. Oh, I don't think I'm touching these. I want you to see this. So this is my son, Nate. And that is the first painting I ever entered in a show as a professional, and it got it. So that's the kind of encouragement that we like, right? This is also Nate, getting ready for the junior prom. My son Zach. Zach's here, by the way. He'll be getting his master's in art in the spring. And you know, when I was just wanting to put the third video in, this painted from life, he was, nah. I mean, he was about 6, so. And then my son Sam, who, that's at Camp Steiner. That's the highest, the scout camp with the highest elevation in the world. Okay, so, this is, my first idea is paint what you love. My second idea is making art is problem solving. When we do a painting, we are giving ourselves a problem that we have to solve. And so it's the riddle of the rectangle. And Dale Layton, he says that the 4 most important lines, you know, are the outside of the square of the rectangle. So my son passed away, and I didn't paint for quite a while and very sporadically, but I wanted to paint. And so I gave myself a problem of painting primary colors, simple shapes. And so I had a show down at Davis with these paintings. And I really like them, and they're really fun to do. And this daffodil painting, that's one of them, one of the paintings in that series. So, peppers on a cake plate. And I love the juxtaposition of the humble garden peppers on this cut glass lead crystal cake plate, you know. Red pears on plates. And really, this isn't it's not a very good picture. Some of these slides actually were slides, and I had to go have them digitized and even manipulate them. We didn't get good. Okay, more, but 4 apples, and I shoved the plate over. And I like to see the brush marks. I like to see the hand of the painter, so it's not like it's been airbrushed, you know, just smooth. I like to see that. So, not 3, not 7 or 5 lemons, 4 lemons. It's a square, very static shape, right? Of course, more people are loving squares nowadays. But, and it's right in the middle of the page again. Okay, so one of my, there are lots of reasons to paint. Sometimes just because we love it, we love the colors, we love the place, we love the people. So that's sort of how these zinnia paintings are. This series is one of my most favorite. My grandma had an acre vegetable garden. And we, as kids, we helped weed the garden. But as you look down the garden, the weeds were pretty low until about 2/3 down, and then the weeds, because we never quite get to the end of the row, I don't think. Anyway, she always planted zinnias in her vegetable garden. And then she'd bring them into the farmhouse and enliven it and make it beautiful. So I love zinnias. I'm sorry. This one is called Ignored by Zinnias. And so, zinnias, they're not sent to the prima donna. They're not in the bridal bouquets or anything. They're just tumble flowers, but they're beautiful and fun. So the lady that bought this painting, she hung it right above her toilet in her guest bathroom. and she renamed it to Go Ahead, We're Not Looking. So this stop sign man, and I hope to paint a bunch of stop sign people. But anyway, this presented some pretty big design problems. Because anything animated, like even if it's a little bunny and it's over in the corner of a painting, you're going to look at the animate object. So the stop sign man, he's an animate object and you are going to look at him. But my idea, I thought, if you walked in a gallery and in the corner of your eye, I wanted you to see the stop sign first. And there's conflict there because you naturally would look at the person, but I want you to see the stop sign. So I put it horizontally in the middle of the page, and it's the only place on the painting that has pure red pigment and the white of the paper. Plus the stop sign's big. But I love the idea that somebody that we don't know, and we may not even want to know, can tell us what to do and how long to do it, and when we can stop doing it. And the fact is, if we don't do what they tell us, our very lives depend on it. I really like that. And that's why, anyway, the guy, I gave him a green shirt, green plaid shirt. Oh, and another thing I wanted to tell you is that there wasn't a line of cars. I happened to have my camera with me, and I got out and asked him if I could photograph him for a painting. And he even posed for me, they didn't pose, but turned out to be a pretty nice guy. Okay, so there are other reasons to paint. One is just, do we like it? Do we want to? Is it something we enjoy? Okay, so the third idea is to make a list of your favorite painters or artists. Make your list of people that you, and even when you see, I have a few folders, a few 3-ring binders that I've ripped the pages out of a magazine, and I have it in there. I can look through it. So make your list of of painters. Andrew Wyatt, before he died, made a list of the 20 most fabulous watercolorists. And Stephen Doherty, who's a magazine editor, and he gave him a big list to choose from. But you don't have a list to choose from. Just put the people that you love that you admire their work. So I'm just going to show you, I have a long list of favorites, of course, but I'm just going to show you a few that I like. Oops, another roadside cautionary sign. Tractor crossing. I just love that. I mean, is the sign really necessary? This is in Farron, Utah. Anybody been to Farron? Oh, so I'm just showing you, this is a painting I really love. And I did do a bunch of paintings. They're something on a pedestal, you know, so this is geranium on a pedestal. And this is really fun. Anyway, I think for sure I won't tell you the story. This painting is 40 by 40. It's commissioned. And the person who commissioned it, it's a gift to her husband. And he played the organ in our church. So I sat there and tried to draw him while he was playing the organ. It just didn't work out. And so one of my good friends who's a commercial artist, I talked to him and he called this guy up and said, I need to use you in a paint in one of my commercial pictures. So he photographed him for me. But all of those things the lady brought over to me, all those things that mean something to him and that he loves, I actually attached to the ceiling, hung them in my studio. They were all hanging like that. And I mean, I probably could have figured out an easier way to do it, but that's how I did it. And painted them like that. And then I said to her, Bonnie, you can't have all these things that your husband likes and not be in this painting. So I have her hugging his collar. And I had to post her hugging a bush. Okay, now we're to my favorite painters. This is called The Great Piece of Turf by Albert Dürer, painted in 1503. It's small, it's a small painting. One of my daughters is here actually saw the painting in Vienna. And we lived in Augsburg for a few years, and that is where Albert Dürer is from. This is, who's this by? Childhassen. Who did you say? Anyway, it's the Isle of Shoals, but I just love the poppies. I love how he painted it. This is the same painter, an interior. This is Prendergast. I love his paintings, but this is of Central Park. And I love how he painted that and what he left out and what he put in. And I tried to choose paintings that were a little bit obscure because we all, like, this is Sargent, and I'm sorry that the photo isn't better, but when you see that painting, you're just, you are transported. It's just so amazing. Sargent again. The Mountain Stream. This is Edward Hopper. And don't you love Edward Hopper? But when I saw this, it's called Joe, painting in Wyoming. It's a good one. Why is that doing that? Am I breathing too hard? Okay, there we go. Mark Rothko. And these actually are acrylic, and they're huge, really big. But, oh my gosh. You guys have seen real Rothkos. You go, you stand there, and you're just... Any guesses who painted this? This is Andrew Watt.
That's those my
So, let's see, do I have another one? Mary White. This is called Passages. And this is another Mary White. So now I'm just, and Joseph Raphael.
Oh, he's great.
And this is, let's see, 100 and something by 89. Anyway, you can see down the middle where he's patched two papers together. It's just giant. Okay, so now I'm just going to show you really fast a few of my recent works. Oranges on box with water. This is the process I use. I set up the still life in my studio, and I have to paint the things that are going to die first. Somebody might have a baby before I get back to it. Hopefully they will. And there's the painting. This is called uneven distribution. Sunflowers with black stripes. Sunflowers in a beer pitcher. Sunflowers, November sunflowers. So I'm going to end with that one. So we should quit right now, but but does anybody want to just say what they paint? What you wrote down? What you paint? You paint all the time?
I paint because I can.
Cool.
Yeah, my big word right now is transcendence. Just that.
Boy, that's a fabulous segue into my closing remarks. Okay, why do I paint? My daughter Becky said a few years ago, because it makes you happy. But really, it makes me conflicted. Because I want to paint, but I also want to eat. So I have to cook. I want a clean house. I want to party with my kids. Really, it's sort of a conflicting thing. But the definition of transcendent is beyond or above the range of normal or merely physical human experience. And so for me, painting is transcendent. It's so wonderful. It's so wonderful to love things and enjoy things and the colors. Come on, you guys get excited with me. Anyway, and I also love trying to solve the riddle of pain. That's transcendent too. And then the second reason is there's always room to improve. You know, your next painting is going to be so much better, right? There's no end. There's another mountain to climb. So, and I think that's exciting and another good reason to paint. So, Judy Chicago, who's a very well-known artist in New York, she remarked in an interview with the HuffPost, artists don't retire. Every artist's dream is to drop dead while they're working. So, thank you so much. You've been a fabulous audience and friends. You're my friends, right? Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, MaryAnn, and for agreeing to come and letting us stream her on Facebook. If you go to our Facebook page, the video will be there, and also on our YouTube. Utah Watercolor So check that out. Thanks. Can we give one more round of applause for MaryAnn? I forgot to mention at the beginning, so I'm going to tell you now. At the back table by the door where you're going to exit, there are some free paint samples. We like free. So feel free to grab one if you want to on your way out. I think it's acrylic paint. Tom, is it acrylic? It's acrylic, right?
It is, yeah.
Looks like acrylic to us.
Looks like it's all blue, too.
Little pouches of blue acrylic. And there's a little catalog of the other kinds of paint from the company that's by it. There's also some treats back there if you want to grab one on your way out the door. And there's some flyers back there about a workshop with Graham Flatt. This is not a UWS workshop, but it's a person from UWS who is sponsoring it. So if you're interested, you can grab one of these on your way out as well. So I think that's it. Did anybody have any other things they needed to share? Okay, we will see you next month, March 6th.
she was.